how important is it for you to have like really in-depth knowledge of construction in real estate? Or should you just have kind of the basic wherewithal? What are your thoughts, ladies?
I think the basics. You need to stay in your lane.
Yeah, because I think as long as you have basic on anything, basic accounting, basic, law, basic, we're not the professionals. I am never going to need to provide that information to my customer.
Yeah.
We're always going to go to a professional.
I can know, okay, I need to call an electrician for this task or a plumber or a handyman or whatever.
I can see that's not right and I have a problem.
Yep.
Yeah. But I don't have to be the professional.
You don't do like what Paul does and walk around and knock on walls?
No.
You do that?
No.
Oh, I do it.
You do not.
You're like sounds like a wall.
Yeah, you didn't even know what you did.
I think there's something in there.
That reminds me.
I knocked on the door. That's about it.
Oh, yeah. Whenever Bryson, we were buying a new car, like our first new car, we were so excited. And Bryson is very handy, but knows nothing about cars. I don't either. He opens up the engine or the cover.
The hood?
The hood, yeah. I'm like, I don't know.
You really don't know about cars,
I really
do
don't
you?
know. I really don't know anything about cars. And he goes, I was like, and I knew he didn't. I was like, what are you looking for there? He's like, no frogs. And shut the hood. He was like, that was enough of that.
Oh, like no frogs. They call it kicking tires for a reason. You walk around, you kind of kick the tire
Yeah.
You know,
I like when
pretending that you're checking it out.
when people ask me, is that a V6 or a V8? And I go, I don't know. I have no idea.
Like the drink?
Yeah, it runs.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
I don't like V8s.
Yeah. Yeah. They're kind of salty.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, and I think you need to have some basics. In real estate. You understand some of the basics, but if you get too far into it, you maybe know a little too much, then you can step over your skis a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can start saying, well, this is a load bearing and that's not a load bearing. And, you should be able to open this up. That's where you get into problems.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to steer clear from most of those
Oh, these your topics? I'm not nervous
yes,
now.
Okay. Come on, Paul. Well, I saved some good ones for you. So let's kick it off first, ladies. Shannon, I'm going to you first.
I'm ready.
Okay. What is Romex?
I don't know any of these. I'm looking at this list. I'm like, I don't know what.
I didn't even know there was a list. This is how unprepared we are.
Yeah. So
I came up questions that we as realtors might need to know. I don't know what most of these are.
You couldn't ask me about a 3-tab shingle? Okay. You had to ask me about Romex? Really? I mean, there's things on here we can talk about.
Let's pivot.
Bullnose, I can talk about that.
Pivot. Let's pivot.
Vaulted? Ben.
Tutor?
Pivot.
Let's pivot to another question. Okay.
I don't know most of these.
I'll save the Romex for Paul.
Okay. Okay.
What is the difference between a slab and a crawl space?
Okay, that's easy. A slab is basically a concrete slab that the house is sitting on.
Okay.
And a crawl space is where they actually dig out, they excavate, and they block up, and then they lay the house on that.
Okay. And so what's the advantage of having a crawl space?
Well, there's plumbing advantages. You can get under it to get things fixed, which is a lot. That's what most people like about a crawl space.
That you can access your plumbing.
Yeah, you can get underneath it. Mm-hmm.
So for bonus cred right now. You like that cred? My oldest daughter would be proud of me.
Yeah.
Slay, bussin' cred.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I have no teenagers at home. I don't know any of that.
What are those walls that you were just describing that go up? What are those called?
The sill plate, the foundation?
The foundation walls, yep.
Yeah.
They're also called another thing. Starts with an S. Paul? What?
I don't know where you're going.
Yeah,
with this.
it starts with an S. There's 4 letters.
Stem wall.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I should take it easy on you.
See, if you said it back the other way, what's a stem wall, we would all know that. But we're trying to guess what you're going towards. That makes it it's a little trickier
I gotta make it a little bit trickier.
That's
okay.
a little trickier.
Ninja, what is a P-trap?
Oh.
I know that.
I do, but now I feel pressured.
And what is it used for?
And it's not a rug below the toilet.
No, isn't it like where it loops around and it's at the bottom so the water doesn't go back up?
Yep.
Whatever. Yeah.
That is a P-trap.
It's the
Do you know what it's
part.
used for? Do you know why they make it that way?
I thought it was no, I actually don't know. I thought it was for so bugs and stuff don't get up in it, but I'm not sure.
Well, I guess that could be.
Because it keeps a little water in there, right?
Yeah, it keeps a little water in the...
It holds water in there so your sewer gases can't come back into the house.
Yep, I didn't know.
So that always has some water sitting in there.
Yeah, so actually you got through that one. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And if
the loopy part,
the loopy part,
right?
It's kind of a rounded part. But yeah, that's it. So like if you go into an empty house and it smells like sewer, what should be the first thing that you do?
Turn some water on, pour some water in the toilet and the drains.
Yep.
Vacant houses, they'll dry out.
Yeah.
They'll dry out and you can smell it.
Yep. Paul, this is going to be an easy one for you.
What is Romex?
What is polybutylene?
It's plumbing. It's that gray PVC style plumbing pipe. It should not be used anymore. People say that it had a problem with bursting, but that's not what happens. The connections that you use on that one, they don't seal very well. So you usually have a lot of leaks.
Is that what Kitech was made out of?
It's something very similar. It's a different kind of pipe, but polybutylene and Kitech are both pipes that are not used in plumbing anymore.
Yeah, for a lot of years. And they used them, more in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of manufactured homes had the polybutylene. And if you had polybutylene, a lot of lenders wouldn't lend on it. Mm-hmm. And your homeowner's insurance, a lot of people couldn't get insurance that had polybutylene lines. So good answer, Paul Berry.
Romex is electrical wiring.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay, here is another question for Shannon.
Okay.
What is a gable?
Okay. Well, you're talking about like on like a roof?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So that's the peak.
Yeah, the pitch, the gable. And can you have gables coming out of roofs?
Yeah, because you have like those little gable windows that come out, the little peekaboo windows that like on attics that are super cute.
Yeah.
Everybody likes those.
Those are dormers.
Dormers.
I knew that too. But then you butted in and took it away from me.
But the peekaboo
right when I was going to say
I think we should start using that.
They're dormers. They are dormers.
Yeah. Is it still called a gable if it's like a rounded version, or does it have to have a peak?
That's a good question, and we should find out after the break.
And we'll come back after the break. Okay, so Aspen, she's worried over there.
I am a little bit worried.
Okay, so you've seen a lever, right? Yeah. Is it lever or lever?
I say lever.
Lever.
Okay, so you see a lever in plumbing.
Mm-hmm.
In what position is the on position? So if you got water running through a pipe and
vertical.
So vertical, what do you mean?
Like, so if it's where it's up and down with the pipe, right?
So if it runs with the pipe, it means what?
It's on.
And if it's
horizontal, it's closed.
Okay. Good answer. All right.
Dang,
good.
You are good, girl.
You know, that's a lot.
Stressed.
It's surprising because a lot of people don't know that. Like if you have a shutoff valve in your house, they're like, I don't know if the water's on or not. You can tell because the lever is in line with the pipe. That means it's open. If it's not in line, that means it's closed. It's a handy thing for a lot of people to know, especially people that have no construction experience.
What if it's a knob? Which way's open?
We're just going to keep twisting it until it turns off or on.
We're going to go back to the good old days of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
Yeah, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
But you can install those things backwards too. So you want to say left, but it could be.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true. I would say 99% of the time, though, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a good question. Okay. Paul, explain to us what a helical pier is.
Okay. A helical pier is usually it is put in under a foundation that has started to sag or sink and what you do is you dig out, you put probably one or two piers, and they're pretty much like car jacks. So you block up the foundation, then you put tension on the pier to push up on the foundation, move your blockers out, and then just fill it back in.
So the pier, the helical pier, so how far does it go into the ground? As far as you need it, or they'll hit something solid, or?
I've never installed one.
Yeah.
I know what they are, but not that far.
Yeah. So a lot of helical piers, and you're right, they will add extra supports to the foundation. And if you do it in new construction, they'll take it down to where it hits sandstone, in our area anyways, and it'll twist off, and it gives it something solid that will help brace your foundation.
Usually most stem walls or foundation walls or piers, they just got to get below frost depth.
Mm-hmm.
And then usually
why frost depth?
Because above frost depth, it has temperature variations.
Expand and contract.
Yeah, and it'll move. Mm-hmm. So below frost depth, is usually the same temperature and doesn't move as much.
Yeah. Thank you for that explanation.